Yo, what's going on, everybody? Today we're back with a long-awaited Sivir game. As I mentioned in my previous video, you just had to see one of my Sivir games because Sivir has been absolutely like one of my favorite champions this season. I climbed so many ranks with her and just had so much fun playing her. Like the discovery that I had with Sivir was that you just need to learn to play champions that really control waves and just the entire game. Sivir, I don't know, like if you guys agree with me, let me know in the comments, but Sivir has the best ability in the game to control the wave, control the enemy laners, just to control like what you're doing in the game. Like she's so great at managing waves, trading, poking. All these things make Sivir such a great champion to play. And also, she's not as sweaty. I think sometimes when you're really just trying to have a chill game and you're playing like a really sweaty champion, like something that like you really need to like go crazy with, I feel like that's not fun most of the time. And I think that's why most people also do not go on do any good on those champions. Like if you're trying to play Vayne, you gotta be like focused 100% in the game. It's very difficult to actually be able to manage waves, poking, going in, and all these different things that make the jumping great. But at the same time, if you're just trying to have like a chill day, if you're just trying to have something like just to pass your time with, it's definitely not a good pick. And I think a lot of people do not even do that good with champions like that because of this reason. Like, or some people that I see play like assassins. A lot of people play assassins just for the sake of having the damage, having the one shots, and then all those things that make assassins great. But assassins in general just have like really sweaty mechanics and gameplay. Like you gotta be absolutely out of your mind to carry as an assassin, especially if you want to play higher elo games, if you want to climb the ranks. Assassins, I think you really have to be like 100% in the game, every game, not missing anything, because the champions can really fall behind if you're not doing good, if you're not performing into the game. Like it's a high performing champion, but it's like high risk, high reward. So if you really just want to chill out for a day, if you're in an ADC main, please, I promise you, just play Sivir. Learn how to play a couple games with her and then queue up rank, and then you'll see how good she is. And I'm definitely gonna promise you that you're gonna get a lot of wins. You're gonna get a lot of wins because most people at diamond and below elo, they don't really know what to do when it comes to champions like Sivir. Like she's playing really safe. Like her kit, you cannot really play aggressively. If you play aggressively with Sivir, it could be a huge mistake. Like you gotta have a really like hard-hitting support, meaning like somebody who does a lot of damage, so they can like out damage the enemy, so you can kill them and not die. So it's basically a game where you either kill them first or they kill you, but the playstyle is not that. If you wanna go for like a really aggressive lane with Sivir, I think you gotta have just a really good support. If you're trying to play like duos, that would be the best. But with Sivir, you just gotta take it one step back and just see how your wave is moving, do a little poke, and just farm until you get your Essence River. Once you get your Essence River, the whole game just opens up for you. You can push different waves, you can push for team fights, you can do amazing things. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, but Sivir is at a really good space right now because a lot of champions that you might see on your games have a lot of abilities that are like really annoying, like CCs, like hooks, stuns, some kind of a root. Like everybody's playing champions with abilities like that right now, and Sivir has her E, which cancels one ability and also heals her, which is such a great sustain for bot lane, because you get damaged by two champions essentially. Also, if you get ganked, that's a very difficult situation to go through if you're not playing Sivir. So I would definitely recommend trying to learn how to play Sivir in a macro sense of how can I impact the game overall. Like, Sivir obviously doesn't play for early kills, she doesn't play for early objectives, right? You just want to farm for your 3 items, so it is Essence River, Collector, and Infinity Edge. Now, I don't know if some of you got the news, but Collector on Sivir is pretty good. It's pretty good, and you definitely need to try it, because after a ton of games that I've played with Sivir, I used to go Navoris for the second item, like some kind of attack speed at least. And I realized it's terrible because Sivir has a very low base damage and she doesn't really deal any damage with her abilities. Like, even if you hit the Q, like hitting the Q is optional, you don't always hit the Q, right? Because it's a skill shot, it's not like they have Ezreal right now, so Ezreal can easily dodge it, so what's your damage then? So you have your auto attacks to support you, so you need like all of your items to have 80 in them. And like for me, like for my playstyle, I think Collectors is one of the best items that you can play, because Collectors give you the ability to execute the enemy, and give you like extra gold. Because with Sivir, if you don't get the kills, then farming is your only option of getting gold. But since Sivir gets a lot of farm, also getting that the gold from kills, imagine how much further ahead you can really go if you have both. So I think it's a really good play. And then of course Infinity Edge, you can deal incredible amounts of damage with these 3 items, because you have so much crit, you have so much attack damage. Like, just basic auto attacks with your W can win team fights. Of course, there are many different factors that come into play that when you're playing like bot lane, because you can get focused a lot, you can get like a lot of different situations that don't work for you. But you just gotta be patient. At the end of the day, like, Sivir is a champion that really works with patience. Like, a lot of champions that have good engages, you can just go in anytime. But with Sivir, you just gotta be patient, farm, get your collectors, and then start collecting them kills, you know? And then once you do that, you're gonna see like the game opens up completely. Because Sivir, I don't know, like, but Sivir for me has such a great kit for an ADC because of her poke and her W, that you can really manipulate the entire game just through the waves, just by pushing the waves. It's really not that hard to think about that pushing like all the waves delays the enemy to end your game and to take objectives. Of course, you can pick a lot of champions that do that, but Sivir has the best abilities to also do that. Plus, paired with Essence River, she has such great kit to completely throw the enemy off and just push everything. Obviously, Sivir has a lot of negative things about her, like I said, her base damage is not as good. Obviously, if you don't hit the Q, then you don't really have another damaging ability. Her ult, I would say her ult is like only good with team fights, or if you're like ahead and chasing more kills. So her ult is also kind of like not that good. I would say her ult maybe needs a couple of buffs. I think Sivir needs a lot of buffs actually, but like for me, I found such great success with her with this season that it's just been like the perfect champion for me to play. And like I said, sometimes you just gotta play something chill. I think a lot of people try to get into the games and just try to pick like the most sweaty champions, try to pick some assassins, some mages, some champions that have kits where you need to do a lot of things. And I believe like if you're really trying to climb, if you're like, let's say, gold, silver, you gotta play champions that have a good balance of both. Like Sivir is such a great champion to play in like gold, plat, elo, because you get a bit of a higher chance of getting good teammates who can also help you out by pushing more waves, winning team fights, getting more objectives, and Sivir just benefiting from all of that, and then you can just carry them in the game yourself. So Sivir is a really great champion if you're trying to take the game, like trying to learn the game from its fundamentals. Like Sivir has a great wave management, so if you learn to do that with Sivir, you can basically do that with any other champion as well. But Sivir is like learning wave management for beginners, essentially. Like even if you are in the high elos, obviously you already know how to do that, but if you're really trying to learn that, just pick up Sivir, just go Essence, River, Collector, and then Infinity Edge, and then you're gonna see you're gonna pull so much damage, and the enemy won't be able to do anything. Like as long as you don't get baited, as long as you don't walk too far up ahead into the lane with no wards, then you're gonna do some really amazing things. So I would just really recommend playing Sivir just because of the fact that you can just learn the game. I feel like there are certain champions where you learn how to play the roles. Like with ADC, Sivir, like I said 100 times, is really good. Like support, I would say Soraka could be like a really great like stepping stone, because Soraka only heals and then does nothing. Like her other abilities like the silence and the Q are good, but essentially you just gotta be able to heal your protect your ADC, deal some damage also, but most importantly, like stay safe. Like as a support, you gotta stay safe. Speaking as an ADC main player for so many years, I think the worst mistakes I've seen over and over that people don't realize is that supports shouldn't die. The ADC can die 100 times, the support should not die. Especially if you're not playing an engaging support. Engaging supports like Pyke, Nautilus, and like Leona. Of course, since you're entering the fights, then of course you're gonna die because they're gonna focus you or you're gonna take a lot of damage. But like if you're playing enchanting supports like healer supports, Lulu, Soraka, Sona, Nami, you gotta have 1 to 2 deaths maximum in the game. Because if you stay alive, you have more chances to helping out more of your teammates. Even if you're playing just with your ADC, you can roam, you can help your jungler, you can help your mid laner, you can go to top lane. There's so many different plays now that you can do with support that impact the game much more than if you're playing ADC. So like support role has become a high responsibility role now, when it used to be just stay in bot lane and get a couple kills or protect your ADC or something like that. Like it didn't have much significance back in the day. Like you would just play an engaging support. Like I remember like a couple seasons ago, you just play something that deals damage and an engaging support, and that's how the bot lane would go. But now like healing supports, like supports that buff your teammates, have such a great potential to impacting the entire game, getting you more wins even. And I really want to congratulate a lot of the support players who like really like try their best, because right now it's a tough role to play in, because if the enemy support is a good player and does everything very well on a macro and micro level, then they're gonna win the game 100% of the time. Because just having like one of their like bot lane roam and help everybody else and help to get objective kills, apply pressure on the lanes. That's just is so much help that you have no idea how much ahead it can put their team, and then you have nothing really to work on. So supports is one of the roles now that has become difficult to play because of those things, and if you don't learn those things, like I said, you can get really behind. But yeah, this game has been really fun playing Sivir. I would say ADC in general this season was in a good position. I've seen like many games being carried by ADCs, many games that really need the ADC to play good. Like sometimes when I get filled into other lanes and play other lanes, I've seen like ADC players who feed a lot or who just really play for the kills, and that's just not how the game should be played or works. But let me know in the comments, like, what do you guys think? Like, is something that most players should do but they don't, or like what do you think like each role should be able to do? Like, should the ADC just go for the kills and just get fed and then maybe you can win the game that way? Should the mid laner roam maybe more? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for listening, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.